Africa has been bleeding jobs and the economic climate isn't getting any better. Massmart is cutting its workforce by around 8,500 jobs, and just recently Telkom also announced plans to let go of many of its employees. Where are we headed, and how can South Africa pull itself out of its jobs emergency? I'm joined now by labour expert and columnist Terry Bell. Terry, good afternoon. Thank you for joining me. So the word that we tend to use, Terry, is a jobs bloodbath. But this is beyond a bloodbath. It's a crisis. It's an emergency. It's a catastrophe, isn't it? I mean, it just seems as if the more we try to dig this economy out of this hole that it's in, the more we lose jobs in other sectors. Are you picking up any trends to the job losses we've been seeing recently?
Ulysses, we're no, and the point is, what Sipho Sepe was saying is so perfectly correct, and a cliche immediately came to mind. The devil is always in the detail. The difference here is that there's not even any detail for a devil to get into, and this is one of the biggest problems. One could even use another cliche about Rome and fiddling and say, while the NEC fiddles, South Africa burns. The point is that nothing has been done. And there's been no concrete resolutions. There's been loads of promises about growth, etc., and nothing has happened. The other thing was, it's terrible. There are 4 words that one shouldn't say, we told you so. There have been a number of commentators, analysts, including myself, and trade unions, and this is important, and members in civil society who have warned for years about the prospect of, in fact, the jobs bloodbath, I think, was first used by Zwelinzima Vavi of now SAFTU, formerly of COSATU. So it's been happening for a while. It's got very serious now. We need to think out of the box. We have to change things radically. But instead of moaning about things, of sitting back and saying, you see, this is what's happened, they've been thieving, they've been corrupt, etc., where are the alternatives? What we need from civil society, from the unions, etc., are concrete alternatives. The government's been able to get away with so much because it's been very much in policy terms of Tweedledum and Tweedledee, with a load of demagoguery coming in from the likes of the EFF. But nothing concrete. We're still pursuing the same old recipes, etc. And I'm glad that the president hasn't gone to the WEF. World Economic Forum is just the richest of the rich, trying to dig themselves out of the hole they've dug the world into.
But is there more, though, that the president can achieve by not going to Davos and the UK-Africa summit? Because part of his drive to create those jobs is to grow investment, right? So if there's a platform to push for those jobs and that investment, and it's led quite prominently by the head of state, as has happened in the past, does he achieve more by staying at home and being at the second day of the ANC, NEC, Lekgotla, and other subsequent engagements, or would he have achieved more by actually being at those engagements?
I don't think that the WEF particularly, which is really, one seems to forget, it's not some great international body. It's a private club of 1,000 of the world's richest men who actually pull together government leaders, trade unionists, business leaders, etc., to bribe and bully and get whatnot to get policies through. The very policies that I would argue seriously have got us into this problem in the first place. So what we need to do is perhaps look, if you talk about investment, what sort of investment? Let's have human investment. We've made a complete cock-up in terms of the education system. Now to talk about suddenly upskilling and making a big fuss about the matric results, which are basically a farce, we should have gone back a long time ago, yes. So we say, right, that's water under the bridge. What we now need to do, surely, is to sit down and talk generally, democratize things. Let's talk about real alternatives. Let's talk about human investment. Let's not try to sell off SAA to get in some more money or pull in some private investors for this or that. They only want to come in order to make more profit, which is perfectly logical. That's what the system's all about. So we have to think out of the box in that sense. And I'm afraid nothing is being done. Someone needs to start doing it. We don't need another political party. What we need is to have, if you like, a national convention.
I saw what you did there, Terry Bell. We don't need another political party. Is that a jab at Herman Mashaba, the former mayor of Joburg?
No, not at all. I mean, I got quite well with Herman. I mean, I disagree with him politically, but no. The point is, I think another political party is not what we need.
Right.
What we need is a greater democratization. We have the technological capacity to do that, to actually involve people at grassroots level. The ANC keeps talking about, our branches, we're all democratic, but that's because it's run bureaucratically. Basically, Luthuli House tells them, the branches, what to do, in the same way as Luthuli House tells Parliament what to do. So, what we need is to get the people to tell these people who are our representatives what they should be doing.
Terry, let's leave it there. Analyst there, Terry Bell, good to see you. Thank you for your insights there, talking about the state of the economy and also issues around job losses.